Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad you're in here. This is Class B, as in Bravo 1, Workplace Culture, What Employees Want You to Know. Emily Dieppa is our leader today, our facilitator. She is with Workforce Innovations Consultant for PHI, and we are so thankful that she's here. She also has with her a panel of direct care workers that are going to answer, hopefully, a lot of our good questions. So we're so thankful. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, hello. And everybody can hear me okay? This is a big room, yes? Those in the back, I'm looking at you. We're good, okay. So, as our wonderful moderator just introduced, this session is called Workplace Culture, What Employees Want You to Know. And we are incredibly fortunate today because we have with us 4 individuals sitting with me up here at this table that have graciously agreed to be here with us today and to share with us their own experiences to help us answer this question. Like, what do employees want us to know? So my name is Emily Dieppa. I am a workforce innovations consultant with PHI. Now, how many of you in the room are familiar with PHI? Oh, okay, all right, cool. So I actually live in Detroit, Michigan, and PHI is based in the Bronx, New York. We are a nonprofit advocacy organization that's been around for over 25 years, and we work on behalf of direct care workers and those they serve across settings. And I just want to be clear that when I say direct care workers, I'm talking about care partners, I'm talking about homemakers, I'm talking about people working in environmental services, home health aides, resident aides, the full spectrum. And we do our work with this very deep-held belief that the more we are able to increase the quality of the direct care worker job, the more we're able to increase the quality of care that we provide our elders and people living with disabilities. Now, if I had to summarize our strategy, I think of it as like 2 parallel tracks. So on one track, we're in the field. We're working with employers, we're working with organizations, and we're kind of like throwing the spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. What does make a better quality job? And then we share what we learn, we share those best practices through our coaching services, through our consulting, and through our teaching. One example of this, there's a few on some tables, is this booklet about recruitment and retention with the direct care workforce. Also, if you all need more copies of that, you can download it off our website and print the entire thing, just an FYI. Excuse me, so the second track is we're also taking those those best practices and lessons learned, and those are informing our strategic advocacy and policy work because we recognize that a lot of what regulates our sector is based on decisions made by legislators in both state and federal government. Okay, so let's get started. I just want to take the temperature of the room. How many, yes. So how many of you right now are in some way experiencing challenges with recruitment and retention? So not only finding the right people, but then keeping them. If you don't have your hand raised, if you want to trade spots with me right now, I am all about it. No? No takers? Okay. So before we start our first table discussion, I want to call your attention to the app. You know how in the app you have all of the slides, you have all of the handouts for the sessions. We are paperless, which is fabulous, but that means that your handout is in your app. So just so you know, I'm going to reference it 1 or 2 times throughout this session. Just know that it's there for you if you would like to see it. But the first question on your handout is this question: what is getting in the way? And I want you to take a couple of minutes with the people at your table and talk about what are the challenges to not only finding the people you need, but then keeping them. Go ahead. All right, can I ask for a couple of people to share maybe 1 or 2 of the themes that you heard at your table? And if you could just tell us your name and where you're from, that would be fabulous.
Oh, I get the microphone?
Oh, you get the microphone. Oh, yes. This is a big room.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jen. I'm from Peconic Landing on Long Island. And one of our common themes was competition with other industries and the challenge with what we pay our staff for such a difficult, demanding job compared to what they can make somewhere else.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Who else? I saw. Oh, right here. Hello.
Thank you. My name is Claudette Meador. I'm a guide at Park Springs in Georgia, and I'm also a nurse. And what I've heard at my table is that culture is very important in the sense that the care partners are from different cultures, Kenya, Jamaica, Africa, African American, so America. So in a sense, it's a different twist on it because when we understand, I'm from Jamaica as well, so I understand the culture and our mindset and perception of our work ethics. And so when we have different cultures, if the other cultures don't understand the culture, then it makes it somewhat hardship. And so oftentimes they don't understand the culture, so they find jobs elsewhere. But it's our job to make them feel inclusive and share, because we all have something to give.
Thank you. Beautiful. Right. And so what I heard too, it's just understanding everyone's norms. Those are all different. And I think a lot of times we take for granted, we think our norms are everyone's norms. That's not the case. Can I have one more? All right.
My name is Jonathan Pinsker. I'm a regional culinary director in South Florida for our ACTS Retirement Life Communities. We have a couple of distinct things I think most people do go through that we talked about at our table. One is our onboarding process. You know, we require level 2 background checks, which, you know, we're looking at a month getting an employee that's making $10 an hour into the community. I mean, for me, on a personal, the biggest thing is the economy. I mean, we're at 3.9 unemployment, and you know, the old saying is, those 3.9, most of them don't want to work anyway. So it's an employee's market right now, and we don't have an issue retaining people because I think partially of what we're learning here, the cultures in the communities, it's a great environment to work, it really is. But pay, competition, onboarding, it's just a challenge, it really is.
Thank you. So I didn't pay anybody, but a lot of what I heard in your responses, it's what we're going to talk about, because these challenges that people are facing that I think you all could have probably talked about for quite a bit more time if we had it, they're everywhere. We're experiencing them in big cities. We're experiencing these challenges in rural areas and like everywhere in between. And so what I want to do now is first get this mic out of my hand, and second, all right. I want to peel back the curtain, because these challenges that you deal with every day, that you problem solve every day, that you're like banging your head against the wall, like what are we supposed to do differently? There is a driving force behind it. There's a driving force. And I want to peel back the curtain and look at some of those invisible forces, some of which we kind of just talked about. Thank you. All right. So when I think about the workforce crisis and these invisible forces, I think about three main things. So one, there's fierce competition on many different levels. There's a narrowing pipeline, and we have rapidly increasing demand. So over the next 35 years, the number of people aged 85 and older is predicted to increase 200%. 200. Those 65 and older, they are going to be increasing 84%. And just rhetorically speaking, the population 85 and older, how many of them will need some sort of specialty care around dementia? A lot. I see heads nodding. Absolutely. So I think it's important to note that the most rapidly slice of our population, the most rapidly growing slice, will also require the most complex care. And this means that job growth is spiking. The care sector is the fastest growing sector in our economy. And in 10 years, we're adding 1.4 million jobs. So that means that not only do we all have to fill the gaps that already exist, we have to recruit 1.4 million brand new people into this sector. Now, I want to point something out about this graph. I know it's kind of hard to see. This room is huge. But the bottom line, the gray line, it's pretty stagnant, and that is for skilled nursing, for nursing homes. The rapidly increasing lines are for PCAs and home care, home health aides. Now, I don't want anybody sitting back and thinking, we're good. Our line's just staying the same. It's no, because you're competing for the same people. And I want to come back to this graph. I'm sure this wasn't lost on many of you. The working age population, those 18 to 64, that's only increasing 15%. 15, right? Now, finding these 1.4 million new people, it's going to be hard because we just have less people. And historically speaking, immigrants have been an invaluable source of compassionate person-centered care. 1 in 4 immigrants, or I'm sorry, 1 in 4 direct care workers is an immigrant. There is no money anybody can pay me to talk politics right now, but what I will say is that whether you agree with it or not, the current administration's policies towards immigration means that there are less immigrants coming into our country, which is problematic when we look at this. So what does this look like? Okay, so I'm an elder, and I'm in need of support. So can I have these 4 tables raise their hands? That's you guys too. Yeah. All right, so I need to find one of you. You can put your hands on, I'm sorry. I need to find one of you, one person. I feel like even if we don't get along, I can probably recruit someone else. You all look like really lovely, wonderful people. There's a lot of you. I can move around. I feel good about you though, okay. All right, so let's jump ahead to 2050. Now we have this one table. Can you raise your hands? This is it. No offense. This is it. So if you and I'm not sure. I don't know. Am I going to be able to recruit someone else? Am I going to be able to find the person that I need that fits me? I don't know, because guess what? A lot of people are competing for this one table. A lot. And when I say people, I mean employers. I mean retail, I mean fast food, I mean manufacturing. Everybody is going after this one single table. You said it, sir. We are experiencing the tightest job market since 1969. 1969 is a pretty cool year though, right? We landed on the moon. There was Woodstock. I think that was in 1969. Yeah, all right, there we go. It was. It was in 1969. And we had very historically low unemployment, just like we have right now. So that's what I mean by that. I mean, there's just not a lot of people in the labor market because there's a lot of jobs. So that means that for those that are looking for a job, they got options. What did you call it, an employee's market? Yes, yes. So those that are looking for jobs, specifically entry-level jobs, they have a lot of options. They can go to Costco, they can go to Amazon or Target, and start out at a wage that is dollars above the state minimum wage with benefits. And many would say that the work is less physically demanding. So, quick story for you. I did some work over the summer with an organization in Massachusetts. And one of the things that we talked about was that where their employees lived, it was about a 20 to 30 minute drive from their organization. So round trip commute could be about an hour. And in a couple of months, Wayfair is opening a call center in the town where everybody lives, so no commute. And their starting wage is $15 an hour. And this organization was paying care partners an entry-level wage of $12 an hour, which was the state's minimum wage. Now, it goes without saying, yes, we all want to pay people more, but this is the reality. This is the reality that we face. I'm sure that all of you, many of you, might have some example of a Wayfair that has moved next door that is making an already complicated situation even more complicated. So, I'm asking, and I want you to just shout it out. How do you compete? Why do people keep coming to work? What is it? They can go. They have options. This is an employee's market, so why do they stay? Sorry, what? To call in? It's a calling. I'm like, to call in. That's wait, what? Yes, it is a calling. It does. So the money doesn't matter. It's a calling. Absolutely. What else?
The culture of the environment.
The culture.
Empowered or valued.
To feel, so when you say culture, you're specifically saying when people feel empowered and valued. Anything else? Throw it out here.
More opportunities to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Setting that up.
Absolutely. So they have opportunities to not only grow professionally, but they have opportunities to grow personally. Anything else? Yeah.
It's not just a job. You feel like you're really making a difference in people.
Yes. You have an impact. And I try to stay away from assumptions, but I'm going to assume that that type of meaning, that deep meaning that sits in your gut, that's not necessarily something you get at a call center. Maybe not. I don't know. Over here.
Relationships that are built between those that you're caring for and those you're caring with.
Yes, it's all about the relationship. It's all about the personal connection and feeling that you're making a difference for that person. And this is what I mean when I say workplace culture. I'm talking about that feeling, that gut feeling when you walk through the door and you're happy to be there and you know that you're making a difference, and it's why people come. I just heard you say, this is why people come into this work. It's a calling. And so when we look at all of these scary statistics, which they're scary, your number one tool is what you just said. You just said it. It's why people come and it's why they stay. It's powerful. So it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, that sounds great, I get it. It's a whole other thing to do it. It's a whole other thing to do it. So I'm a big person on the how. Like, you know, people are always like, oh, well, this would be cool. I'm like, okay, but how? How do you do it? So I have a story for you, stick with me, about how we need to create an empowered, respectful workplace culture. Okay, so it's about my husband. Oh, I have a photo. This is my greyhound, who has nothing to do with the story, but if I have any opportunity to put my dog in front of a group of people, I'll do it. If anyone wants to talk about greyhound adoption after this session, I will be available. So anyway, so my husband and I bought a house like 2.5 years ago, and anybody that has any sort of a new home, you know, it's like project after project after project. And so one of the things that we've wanted to do now for many moons is build a garden, plant a garden. And this was a Sunday afternoon, and he looked at me, and he gets like a bug, you know, like things, like he gets really into stuff, and he's like, I'm gonna build a garden right now. And I could see the look on his face, and I was like, all right, you do, you do that. But I also am like, it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm not moving. So if you wanna build the garden, like, power to you, but I'm not moving. So he's like, no problem. So within a day, the beds are built, the plants are planted, the dirt is in, like everything is done. And so I was confused because you can see, it's not, I mean, it's 2 beds, it's not huge. Of all the things he could have planted, he planted cantaloupe. I despise, in what?
In both beds?
No, just, there were like 3 plants. They died, thankfully. Sorry, that's the end of the story. No, I'm kidding. No, but he planted cantaloupe. And I was like, it is the one thing, literally, the one thing that I don't enjoy. I will eat every fruit, every vegetable, like cantaloupe, I just can't. He knows this. He knows this. So I'm kind of just like, whatever. I was like, this is what you get for staying home on a Sunday afternoon. So, fast forward a couple months, things are growing, and I say things to him like, the tomatoes are amazing, Jonathan. You did such a good job with them. And he's like, they're not my tomatoes. There are tomatoes. And I'm like, no, okay. Or I'll be like, I'm going to water the flowers. Do you want me to water your garden? And he's like, it's not my garden. It's our garden. And I'm just like, this will never be my garden. There is cantaloupe in it. I had nothing to do with planting it or building it or anything. I water it as a courtesy. Like, what in the world does this story have to do with creating workplace culture? Yes, ownership. Why do we need ownership? Exactly. I mean, creating workplace culture, as hard as it is, if you want one that matters and that's going to stick, people need to see themselves in it. And they're not going to see themselves in it unless they have their hands real far in that dirt. It's not going to happen. Why would somebody care to even continue it if they felt like it was just a bunch of cantaloupe? It just doesn't make sense. So, with that, I am going to introduce our panelists in just a moment. I have a few things that I want to say. So, our panelists have had their hands in the dirt for a while now. They are 4 incredible people. And this is an opportunity first for you all just to see how this conversation sounds, to see what it could look like, to listen for questions that you're like, ooh, I want to ask that. That's a good one. I like that. And to think of other new questions. This is a question on your worksheet that you can find on your cell phone. The other thing is that I want to invite you to listen deeply, because what they are giving us is a gift. It is a true, true gift to listen and to learn from their expertise, because they are experts in this. We also will have time at the end for questions, for audience questions. So if there are things that pop up in your mind, please jot them down and we will come to you. Are there any questions before we start? Beautiful. Okay. So, first, I would like to welcome up Culix Wibonele. Did I do it right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Culix is a, yes. Culix is a care partner at Park Springs in Atlanta, Georgia. And you have been a care partner for 6 years now. Yes. Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you, Culix.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And our second person that I would like to invite up is Garry Gaither. He is, yes! Isn't he amazing? Garry. Garry, if you can't tell, is from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. He has been in environmental services for, can I tell them? 45 years. That's 45 years. Incredible, incredible. Next we have Trayvon Johnson, who is a cook. A cook and homemaker who's also from Park Springs, and he has been doing this work for 9 years. I feel like you can't go after Garry, that's just... And last but certainly not least, Miss Nicola Johnson. Nicola Brown. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicola Brown. Trayvon Johnson, I apologize. Nicola Brown, who is also from Park Springs. And Nicola, how long have you been doing this work now? You don't have to tell us. You don't have to tell us.
5 years.
5 years. I thought it was going to be like, yeah, I was like, how many years? Beautiful. Okay, So, are we all comfy cozy? Great. Ugh, oh my gosh. All right. So, our first question is we want to hear about your story and how you came to do this work. What brought you? What was your calling?
I started out, when I was a teen, I started out in automotive, and you would ask, what does automotive have to do with being a care partner? I started out as in automotive.
Thank you.
And you'd ask the question, what does automotive have to do with being a care partner? I migrated to the United States, and then I wanted a job. I started out as a nanny. And my then boss, her husband, said to me one morning, you should be a nurse because you are caring and the way you operate with the kids. And I thought nothing of it at the time, but then in 2014, I said, you know what, I'm gonna become a CNA. And I trained as a CNA, and as fate would have it, and good faith, my very first client, I don't want to refer to him as a client because he was more to me, was someone who had dementia. And it might seem as though the journey just started, but I think that it started before then because my care for people had been from I was a kid. So when I started with this person, it was amazing. And then that was when I made the decision that, because then the second person I got was a 99-year-old who did not have dementia. But she had such an impact on me that I decided that this is what I want to do. I want to work with geriatrics. I want to work with the elderly. But more so importantly, I want to do dementia care.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, my story is kind of different. I did a lot of volunteer work for Park Springs before I actually got a job there. At the moment when I was volunteering, the executive chef was very enthused with my work ethics. And funny, I got the job 2 days later. I was working there. I don't know how they made the process go by so fast, but within 48 hours, I was working there. But like I said, I did a lot of work, volunteer work at Park Springs. I really didn't even see myself being a chef. I just seen the Le Cordon Bleu commercial, and I just imagined myself in a uniform. I said, wow, I want to go to school for that. I want to look cool like those guys. So I went to school for it, got my degree in culinary arts, and I've been with Park Springs for the longest.
Thank you.
Thank you, and how you all doing? My name is Garry. Again, I've been working in environmental service for a long time. But at the beginning, I went to work at a hospital just because my family worked at a hospital. But I learned that I just started really enjoying people, just people in themselves. Then I found Nazareth Home. Nazareth Home, I've been there for 15 years, and it was just a perfect fit. The way they teach, just the way they do things, and they truly go by the golden rules about how you treat each other, how you want to be treated, and that was just right up my alley. So I started working at Nazareth Home. I've been working there at Nazareth Home, and I fell in love with Nazareth Home. And it's just not Nazareth Home, but like I said again, it's the people that they take care of. It's the staff. It's just the whole ballpark. And if you ever came to Nazareth Home and just walked through, then you would feel what I feel. and you you just can't go wrong there. And I'm not saying it because I have staff members here. I'm saying it because it's just the way that I feel, and I really do. I'm gonna pass this mic on, but just ask me. When you see me, you ask me, and I'll tell you, no problem.
Before I speak, I'm from Kenya, raised. That's in East Africa. So before I tell you my name, I'm gonna ask you all to repeat one thing. Say Jambo.
Jumbo.
Y'all can do better than that. Come on. Yes, Jambo. Jambo.
Jumbo.
That's hello in Swahili. I know y'all watch Lion King, Hakuna Matata, and all that stuff, but we're not gonna talk about that. Okay? My name is Culix. I don't know the meaning. You can find it in a dictionary, but it's Culix. So I grew up with my mom and my grandparents, with a lot of relatives, and in our culture, the way I was raised, we take care of our families. When you get older, we don't move you to a senior living. We don't have none of that. So either you're gonna move to our house, we take care of you until you pass away, or we're gonna come and stay in your house until you pass away. That's how I grew up. So we take care of all the families, the relatives, the neighbor, and all that. So when I came here with my mom, I was around 14 years old. It was strange to me to know this nursing home, which I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is wrong with you people? Why would you want to put your mom in a senior living home? Why you don't love them anymore? Remember, they take care of you. They put up with you, diaper, school, headache, everything. Why would you want to take them away from their home where they know? You want to put them somewhere different, new, they don't know at all. Then my mom was a CNA, so that's when I learned about senior living. Then she became a nurse because she had that passion as well to take care of the elderly the way she grew up. So later on, the more I'm learning, it's like, wow, I didn't understood why somebody would take their mom from their own place and take them to senior living. It's hard, it's stress, and at the same time, you need help. There's some things you don't understand about your mom or your family that you need help, which in Africa sometimes we don't know that. We need help at the same time. But since we don't know that, you put up with all that stuff, and it's so frustrating. So at the end, I decided I'm going to be a CNA. I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to school right now to be a nurse. But until then, thank you. Until then, I am going to do the best I know. I'm going to love this elderly who show us love every day, who will learn something new from them every day because they've been there, done that. Even if they don't remember, it's our job to remind them we love them, we care about them, and we are here for them until the day they leave this planet. Thank you.
Okay, so my next question, can you describe for us, what does your ideal workplace look like? Like, what's important to you? This is when the microphone turns into a hot potato.
For me, it is showcasing my skills and my talent. I like to bring a lot of oohs and ahs to the table. I know that I'm welcome into our members' home to cook for them. So what I try to do is recreate their environment or scenery. So when I say that, I mean by making a lot of comfort foods, but presenting it in a restaurant form or style. So recreating the environment and the scenery for me.
And can I ask a follow-up question on that? So Trayvon, can you tell us about the Christmas party?
Oh.
and specifically how members and their families responded to it, like what the impact was?
Okay, with the help of my staff, we transformed a very small dining room into a major restaurant, the Christmas party that we had. So we fed about 75 people I don't know how we did it, but we did it. So it was me and my partner. He's a chef as well. We came together. He's more of a traditional chef, and I'm more of a non-traditional chef. So he brought to the table some traditional Christmas foods, and I brought some elegant restaurant-style food. So we combined. We had lobster tail. We had a restaurant in a small area, but it was really, really nice.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
My ideal work environment is Park Springs.
Oh.
And I say Park Springs because of the experiences I have. The good thing is that when I just started working at Park Springs, I had the unique opportunity to do 2 facilities at the same time. And I had the experience of doing comparison. Traditional home care and Park Springs home care. Park Springs is a butterfly home. And what we mean by a butterfly home, it's not the regular where everything is task-oriented. We have moved away from that way of caring for our members. And when I say members, I'm talking about it's more like family. That is why we use the word member rather than resident, because we don't see them as them and then us. It's we. We work together. We have a home-like setting. It's like when I leave home, I'm going to my other home. I'm not going to work. So that is the kind of environment I want to work in. I want to be in an environment where I feel like the people I'm caring for see me as not just a worker, but being a part of them. And that is the experience we have on a day-to-day basis at Park Springs.
Thank you.
So like Nicola said, me and her actually worked the same senior living before, so I understand what she's saying, the old school and the new school. The old school, now I can remember seeing members being depressed. We alienate them, like what I mean by that is like they're sitting on the corner and there's some work needs to be done because our boss wants that to be done before the end of the shift. But in Pebblebrook, which is a butterfly, I love working there. Every day I can't wait to go to work. When I walk in, there's a member say, "Where have you been?" "I am so glad you're here. So what are we doing today?" I am bubbly. I wish I had pictures to show you. I'm like a clown at work, including this one right here. We wear butterflies, clothes. We don't wear uniform. We wear regular clothes, showing like you are working at home. We don't want to feel like you are going to work. At work, you wear uniform. At home, you wear your regular clothes, comfortable clothes. And we try to wear colorful clothes because they love to see something colorful. And with that, we love to sit down, we eat with them. Not you serve them and you just go do your work. You sit down, you engage with them, you tell them, "Hey, how's lunch going on? How was your day?" And they're like, "Wow, you care about me, not about the job." So me being a butterfly, our Pebblebrook, I can't explain. Y'all need to come and visit us. So that's the best I can say. But I love what I do.
Well, and again, I'm Garry, and what I'm gonna say about that is that we have a theme song. You know, we are family, and that song you hear it, and you feel it throughout the day at Nazareth's home. I really don't have a lot to say about. I have a lot to say, but I don't want to take that much time saying it. But we have activities. I mean, just like anything else, every day. And it's a family. It's not work. Well, it's work, but it's a family. And we enjoy the day as the day goes on, and we just have a great time at work. And that's all I can say. You know, I just love it there. And you will love it there. You will love it there. I mean it. You will love it there. Yes.
Thank you. So I feel like one of the really common themes that I heard there is that it's so incredibly important for each of you to have the opportunity to live your values through your service and through your work. And that for you all, those aren't two separate things, but you have the trust and the ability and the empowerment to create meaningful relationships with people. It's amazing. So for our next question, could you tell us a story about a time that you felt really respected by, it could be a coworker, it could be a supervisor, a guide? Like, what made that such a good experience where you felt really respected and seen?
Just like in any household, in your home, my home, we have emergency situations where the plan of the day can just go like that. And I can remember one morning we had in our lake house, 2 care partners were not able to come in. Of course, I work the night shift. And I'm gonna say the night shift at Park Springs Memory Care is the best. We are the best because our night shift, we go above and beyond. And I know because we feel the appreciation from our guide and of course our team members. But that morning in particular, they called out, and it was real emergency situations, and nobody had to say to us that, hey, you know, you need to help with before you leave. And we did it. We didn't even call our guide to say, hey, the shift is going to be short, we need to do this. But when we did, what she did that, you know, made me feel appreciated was that she sent a text message to the group of us and just to say thank you. And it meant a lot to me because I've worked elsewhere where even if you go above and beyond and below and around, they would not say thank you. And just the simple act of saying thank you made me feel like I'm appreciated and we are needed and that what we do matter.
Thank you.
For me, I'm a firm believer of, you know, you have to give respect to earn respect, or however the saying go. With that being said, me coming to work or my second home is not for show. So when I show up, I'm being myself, not a put on. I'm not looking for incentives or anything. I'm bringing you me. So no put on, none of that.
Me, what I can say is when the family members write a very wonderful email to your boss and say how wonderful you are with your mom, how caring, how you touch them in, like they literally cried. I can never put the dollar bill on that. That it's always, I'm always humbled and I keep striving to do that. And one of my boys, she's here, Miss Claudette. And you can stand up, yeah, there she is. When she goes and tell the owner of the company, it's like, my team, they're the best team I have. They do an amazing job taking care of the members and the families and the chef. What they do is outstanding. That keeps me motivated more and more. It's like, wow, I am valued. I am somebody in this business or in this company. And with that, you talk to your team as like, hey, what can we do to empower others to do what we do? So with that, the comments gives us more motivation to do what we do. So that we appreciate more than anything.
Well, anyway, okay, this is what I enjoy, again, at Nazareth's home, is the fact that not only my supervisor, but even all the, I use the word bosses, but all the managers, and when they call me and call me by name and say, Garry, can you, yes, I can. That's all I need is for them to ask, and they give me the tools and give me the information and give me everything that I need to do what I need to do. And they thank you every time that you do something, and that's what makes my day. You know, when I get the thank yous and from the family, from the staff, and it's not. At one time, you would think that people that was above, who had your managers, they notice what you do, and they let you know that they notice what you do. And as an employee, as an environmental service worker, that what really makes my day. And so thank you for that. And I thank you for them. And come to Nazareth's home, please.
Hey, Garry.
Please. Yes.
So keep the mic. Keep the mic. We're all going to end up going to Nazareth home by the end of this.
Yes.
So I have a follow-up question for you, because I just heard it and you said I do it. Like, they call me and I do it. So
Yes.
Can you explain your shirt for us?
Well,
Yeah.
a few months, maybe a year ago, if you up in Nazareth's home, if you come to me and you ask me to do something, all right, that's what I do. Whatever it is, that's what I do. So the residents or the family members, the people who I take care of, they also know that's what I do. And so when they ask me, whatever it might be, well, anyway, I had a shirt made, and it's what I do. And this shirt, and whatever, I never say no at Nazareth's home. I never say no. I have a pen and a pad similar to this, and I jot it down, and I make sure that it's taken care of. If I have to go through my minister, Miss Mary Haynes, and I asked her, Kim, anyone, Michael back her, and that's what I do. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Garry. The moment that he told me about this shirt, I was like, okay, so can you wear it on Monday? You're like, please wear it on Monday. Thank you. So I wanted to point out one thing that really struck me. The original question was about respect, and what I heard was gratitude, and how closely those things are related to us. They are one and the same, and I appreciate that came out in your responses. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. And I know that Park Springs and Nazareth Home are very incredible places to be, to live. And we also know that not everything is always easy. So what are some of the challenges? What are some of the common challenges with your job? Like, what could ever make you leave?
If ever a day I go to work and I feel as though the members stop getting the care that they need, then that's the time that I would need to leave. And I'm not talking about the everyday personal care, giving them a shower, feeding them, because anybody can do that. But what we provide for our members is that emotional support, that the support of knowing that we are there for them, to take care of their mental needs, their emotional needs, and knowing when we are not able to do that anymore, then I think that's when I'm not needed anymore, because for me, that's the most important part of my job, being able to connect with my members, being able to support them if they have that need to mourn. I should be able to mourn with them. If they are happy about something, I should be able to clap and laugh and dance with them just the same. And if we are not allowed to do that anymore, then that is cause for me to leave.
On the flip side, I need to make my money, so I ain't leaving nowhere. But for me, the only challenge that I have is trying to please everyone. I break my back, I do whatever to try to please everyone. So that's the only challenge that I have, because like Garry, I never say no. And that's a hard thing for me to do, is to try to say no, because when you say no one time, then most people think you acting funny. Y'all know how it go. So, but for me, trying to please everybody, that's my only challenge. Other than that, love my job, love what I do, love entertaining.
Hey, Trayvon, what are some of those competing requests that you get, or like some of those sticky moments where you have so many different requests coming at you?
Members being picky. I guess that comes from me spoiling them. So if one doesn't want something, the other don't want something. So now I'm running around the building with my like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to please them. But that is a good purpose for me, to please the members. But it's everyone on the outside. So.
Thank you.
Now, if Park Springs stop us being us, I will leave. Meaning, if you don't want us to be like a family, like we are right now, then something's wrong, which I doubt that's going to happen. And I pray it ain't going to happen. Now, and if Park Springs stop us from having us growing up, like, I think you understand about the growth, then yes, that will make me leave. But until then, I love they let us be us. They let us members be them. And meaning by that is, if a member works as like start looking for his mother, I'm not gonna tell you, I don't know where your mother is or your mother is dead. They have trained us so well, you know how to walk through the journey with our members. Like, hey, can you tell me something about your mom? What was her name? What did she do? So instead of that member going insane, they start remembering who their mom, and you see the smile. And with that, they have taught us like, wow, it's good to be connecting with them, be caring, being humble. And the old school is like, yeah, I don't know where your mother is, I gotta clean up. I don't know where your mama is, when your mama is dead. Those are the old things I've heard, and we have seen it. But in Park Springs right now we are butterfly, none of that. We've been trained so well right now, and we know what it is to be a butterfly, and I'm humble with that, and that's the one place I would love to work and teach others how to be a butterfly.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Nicola just has a quick follow-up to that point, and then Garry will come back to you for
The follow-up I have to that is one thing that we are, because our official title is that of care partner, and we have some subtitles, and these are the most important titles. They see us as friend, confidant, daughter, sister, granddaughter, and everything in between. We are their nurses, doctor, whatever they call us on any given day, that is what we become to them. And that is very important because their day-to-day journey becomes our journey. We have to go on that journey with them every single day. And sometimes it may seem as though, oh, this is going to take me down a path that I did not expect to be in terms of your emotions. But it also builds us as people, because when we leave home, which is work, and go to our regular home, now it allows us to bond even more with our family, because when we share that experience at Park Springs and then we go home to our family, we learn to appreciate our family even more because of the experiences we have day to day with our members. And our members appreciate us. They might not even remember our name, but what they do remember is how we make them feel in any given moment.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
I'm a couple of people husband too at work, so.
So Garry, what challenge are you facing in your job?
Well, again, I really don't. Challenges is something that I really don't. I don't see too much at Nazareth's home. She's sitting right here, so. And there's a whole lot I can say about the fact that Miss Mary Haynes, she gives you what you need, and I'm not saying it because she's here. If she wasn't here, I'd be saying the same thing. She makes statements and comments to me or to a group that it sinks in. It sinks in, and she might not remember, but I remember. I listen, and when she says things, it just makes all the sense in the world to me. You know, why we have to cut the lights on at 9 a.m.? Why can't we cut them on at 11 a.m.? You might not want to wake up at 7. You might want to wake up at 10. You might want to eat your breakfast at 5:30 a.m., but you might want to eat your breakfast at 11. This is where you live at. So let's just do it this way. Let's try it. She's more than willing to let you try it and to see. And so when Miss Mary stops doing what she's doing, then maybe I would leave. If she leaves and whoever's in her place stop doing it, because the way it's working. And again, I'm not saying it because that group is here, but it's a wonderful place. I fell in love with it 15 years ago. I can't see myself falling out of love in no time soon. No, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So if the system changed, then maybe I would leave, maybe. But I just don't see where that would happen.
Hey, Garry.
No.
Quick question.
Yes.
Follow up. So when we had I think it was like our second conversation, one of the things that you had mentioned that I really appreciated you sharing was about how it can be challenging because you're in environmental services and you're not a care partner. Sometimes you're not able to support in ways that you would.
Tiffany and Kim they both know that, and also, yes, Stephanie, that a couple of times if you're sitting at a table and your residents are eating, you want to, if they start to drop food out of their spoon or fork, it's only natural that you want to take and give them a little helping hand. And I'm in environmental services, and until I get the right training, I'm not allowed to help. And I would be more than willing, and I think you might, and just that cross-training, just helping out as much as you can, but, it's more improvement that we can be helped out on, and I know that. So, and, that's just it. I would like to help more if I could.
That's a good challenge to have.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, so when people do leave, and the way that you talk about Park Springs and Nazareth Home, I'm just guessing that nobody ever leaves, but I'm sure that people do leave. So when they do leave, why are they leaving? Where are they going?
Most times when people leave, earlier in your presentation, you made mention of something, and it's very important to know that most times when people leave, it's either for enhancement of career, or is that they are getting a better offer in terms of wages. But I can speak for Park Springs. Park Springs, people don't leave because they are not comfortable working there. It's always about career enhancement, because since I've been there, and I've been there over a year, we have had care partners move on, and they don't move on to becoming a care partner in another facility. It's to become a nurse, physical therapist, occupational therapist. So it's advancement and not because of the work environment, so to speak.
Yeah, I have to agree with like 90% of what she said. But on the flip side, on the food and beverage side, it can be a lot. You're a one-man show. Like I say, it's a lot, but it's all about your experience and your knowledge. So some people can't handle, cooking for 25 people. I know it don't seem like a lot, but until you actually are doing it, then, you got to take a mile in my shoes, the ripping and the running and going back to the pleasing everyone and pleasing all 18 members. It can be a lot. So, and people are looking for support, and not saying that you will be on your own because you got a great set of people around you, but in my shoes, it can be just a tad bit a lot.
So it sounds like sometimes people's expectations when they come in, they're not aligned with the reality of,
exactly.
of that position.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't just throw a line cook into becoming a homemaker, because it won't add up. With all the butterfly training and knowledge that we've been through, and being yourself and things like that, trying to get away from management, eliminating management from the homes and things like that, and just making it your own. It's just not gonna add up. It have to be in you rather than being on you. Like I stated earlier, you can't put on, you can't fake it. It just has to be you. So.
Well, I'm going to agree with Nicola and Trevon. And at the same time, what I heard, the people who have left, it's like they're not being appreciated. So if you have management, they don't appreciate what you bring to the table, or they don't hear you, they don't value your advice because you're the CNA, you know what's going on. So if I come and tell you, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we need from you, these are the tools we need to make this job easy so we don't get burnt out, and they don't get that, then they will go try to find somewhere else they will feel appreciated, or they don't get burnt out. So that's what I've heard, the people who have left, like, hey, what happened? It's like, I got burned out. I couldn't do it anymore. So I've seen that in a whole lot of places.
Okay, now, again, I work in environmental services, so I wouldn't know a lot about why nursing staff leaves, I go other places. But I know in environmental services that they usually are long-term employees. I know that, again, at Nazareth home they are now. The few that's hard in near the end to replace people who has retired or passed away. That group, again, it's just a young group, and as they learn, they stay longer. But so that turnover rate there, I really couldn't talk much on it. Not environmental services anyway, so that's about all I can say about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So my last question for you all is, what is something you would like everybody to know about you and your work?
What I'd like for my guide and directors to know about me, and also my team members is that I am somewhat of a strict person. Strict in the sense that when I think that something should be done, it should be done. And when I say it should be done, and it's in all good intentions, because if we set an organizational goal and, in essence, and on the side, personal goals, I think that we should always strive to achieve them. And I get frustrated when I see the organizational goals are not being met. And at the forefront, it's our members. At the back end, it's our members. And side to side, it's still our members. So whatever goals are set, they are the main focus, the main target. So if those goals are not being met, then we are shortchanging their care, their lives. So for me, it has to be that we do our very best. That's what I want you to know about me.
Well, while I'm at work, you're going to know a lot about me. I fulfill many different roles. I don't just cook when I come to work. There are some things that I can do and convince members to do that my team can't do. For example, convincing one member to take her medicine. She will not take her medicine if I'm not there. And I, convince her. Or even another member changing clothes, or another member to go ahead and eat. Like I say, I just don't cook. Working at Park Springs allowed me to get out the kitchen and, get my hands dirty to see the healthcare side of it. I can say when I opened Pebblebrook 2 years ago, I was kind of nervous. So the reason I say that is because I didn't grow up with grandparents, or, I really didn't come close to older people or the elderly. It hit me when I started working at Pebblebrook. Every night that I went home, I was just up thinking like, wow, I really get to see people that live 90 years old. I never really seen that. I'm a young guy. So for me to see that made me look at life totally different at work, outside of work, when I go to the store, and how I talk to old people, not old people, but the elderly. How I talk to them, approach them, and just hold conversations with them. It made me look at life totally different. It even made me look at my life, because one day I want to grow up and be those people's age, or our members' age.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Personally, I love elderly people, and I care about them. So I'm a butterfly, as you can see so far. I'm a sun that shines when there's hurricane, there's thunderstorm, to the members and to the families. When they feel low, I bring them up. When they're sad, I make them happy. That's me. What I bring to the job, to my team members, my boss, I'm a team player. I get it done. We might be short, you still not get it done, but with that, you send out the members, go there, number one priority. So I can't change that, and I love my work. I love what Mr. Andy brought to Park Spring, which is the butterfly, that it's okay to feel. It's okay to be vulnerable to these members. It's okay to be yourself, and they're like, "Are you okay today?" And you're like, "Maybe I have a cold," and they'll be so caring, and you're like, "Am I supposed to be here for you, or you here for me?" And we bring our pictures from home. We show them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my daughter used to take them to Barry." They are engaging with us. These are the people who didn't want to get out of their room. They're depressed. They want a lot of medication, but now they're taking less medication. They can't wait to get out to come. They ask me like, hey, what's for breakfast? What are you cooking for us today? And he's like, no, ma'am, not today. And they be goofing around, but that's engaging. When you see them smiling, come in the kitchen, cooking with you, they might not do much, but you're getting them to do something. They're in the kitchen, folding, sweeping, washing dishes. I mean, these are the people who came here, didn't want to do anything at all. But now they feel alive. So for me to see that, I'm making a difference. And that's what I do.
Good afternoon again. Okay, again, I know I keep saying it, but Nazareth's home. I look around now in this, right here in this crowd. I'm glad to meet all you. It's nice to see you, but I miss Nazareth's home today. We've been talking about a lot of taking care of our elderly people, or old people, but I have a lot of family members also that I deal with. It's not necessarily our residents or our family members, but their family. And so earlier I said that what makes me feel good is where people, ask me to do things. But when you have family members who also thank you for doing what you do, it really makes your day. From little great grandkids to brothers to sisters to uncles and aunties, just family. It's just all family, and that's what we are. We are all family, and I say it real quick that I enjoy serving. I use that word serving because that's what I enjoy doing, and that's what makes my day at Nazareth's home, just to serve the people there. So thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna add one more thing. I'm a hugger. I hug a lot. So they know me. When they see, if I don't hug you, then something's wrong with me that day. I hug from the top of the boss to the little kid. And that's like, wow, thank you for hugging me. And so I'm like, wow, you don't know what that meant to me. It's like, today I was not feeling well or something happened, but for you hugging me, that meant you show you care. I don't have to say anything, but hugging and smiling is priceless.
Thank you. All right. So I want to open it up. We have a couple more minutes left for any audience questions. We have 10 minutes left. I see you. And but I have to ask you to work with me. So we only have this one mic, and I want to keep it up here with our panelists. So if you have a question, like full-on recess voice, just scream it. All right, so I'm going to leave this with you. So what questions? Go ahead.
What is butterfly? Ooh, butterfly. Oh, God.
Okay, so the butterfly care model of care, and I won't refer to it as a project anymore because we are way beyond being a project. Because last Friday we were recertified as it's a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the highest level. And we were a 1++ rating. The butterfly model of care entails emotions, feelings matters most. And what we do in our home is that we allow our members to be able to express themselves, and rather than saying this person have a behavior, this person have a feeling, they're feeling something and it needs to be addressed. So what we do, we respond to them based on their feelings and not based on just task. We are not task oriented. And it's more like home. And when I say home, I'm not talking about, oh, we go in, we just feed them, bathe them, and all these things. What we do, just like in our home, we go home, we have our husbands, our wives, our children, and we have settings at the table. We sit with them, we eat with them, just like we would in our normal home. When it's shower time, we go in, we converse with them, we engage them. We don't tell them what to do. We ask them, what would you like to do today? We don't have set schedules. Like for activities, we don't have a set schedule to say, okay, today is the day we do drawing, today is the day we do music, nothing like that. We go with the flow of the day. Just like if you're in your home and you feel like, oh, I feel like I would go out and walk in the courtyard. I'm gonna go out. They're allowed to do just about that. And I work at nights, and we don't refer to them as wanderers. You know, in other homes they would say, oh, we have a wanderer tonight. We don't have wanderers. If someone gets up and they are not able to sleep, we are able to allow them to, you know, go around, do whatever they want to do. We engage them, just like if it was the daytime, because their nighttime sometimes is their daytime. And we engage them. We have activities with them, whatever they want to do. I have one member in particular who he likes to go fishing, and he will get up in the nights and said he's going fishing. Now, I have to go on that journey with him. He gets his tackle box. Mind you, he doesn't have a tackle box, but whatever he has, that becomes the tackle box. And I didn't know anything about fishing, and he has taught me a lot because I have to go on that journey with him. And rather than saying to him, oh, it's nighttime and it's time for you to go to bed, I go on that journey with him and I'll say to him, you know, oh, I will open the blinds and says, oh my Lord, it's dark outside. And he'll just turn to me and say, but we can't go fishing in the dark. I'm going back to bed. So rather than forcing him to go back to bed, I redirect him through our conversation, through our interactions. And that's how the butterfly model works. It's about connecting, getting to know, because when we have our members and each of them wants, we get to know them. So if someone has an issue today, we are able to address it because we have that closeness. And what I might be able to do for one member, Culix might not be able to do it. And that's another thing. We allow each other as team members to work with the people who, you know, we have that great connection with. We are allowed to do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicola. That's great. Who else? Any other questions? Go ahead.
I'm really amazed by your testimonies of your facilities. I really applaud you in sharing that. And I don't know if you even know the answer, but how do you establish, or how do you change that where there's already established? Because I work in Louisville, and it's amazing because I mirror what you're saying. However, how do you get someone else to, especially those that are the direct care staff, it's like, I can chant it all day and I can show examples, but it's like it doesn't translate to the people that it really is, the people that I need it to translate to, because they're the ones that impact the care day to day.
Okay. We were on the same boat you are right now. We didn't want no change whatsoever. We were used to our scrubs, our uniform, our schedule, everything the same way it was. But David shared when they came, we had a lot of training. The first thing, like he said, we had to bring like 6 things that were very important to us. We didn't know why. We complained to our boss. I cannot lie. We complained like, why do you want me to bring something very important to me to work? I didn't get it. We didn't get it. We have to give some testimony that nobody in your company, your team member, your boss knows about you. Now, you want me to open up my emotional stuff? Are you kidding me? No, that I want to do private, not with somebody else. But when everybody was talking, I was like, I didn't know about that. I didn't know you. It's like we were starting connecting. We were like at the same level. We were taught as CNA, whatever you do at home, when you clock in, that's it. This is work, home is home. But when you change that, you are coming home. It doesn't feel like work, it's home, family, love, caring. That you gotta change that mentality. If you can't change, it's not gonna work. We had to change. And we changed it, let me tell you, it's amazing. Like I said, you got the members who don't wanna come out. But you don't care because you're here for 8 hours, you do your job, you're done, you go home. There was no connection. Somebody depressed, why would you care? But now when I see a member being depressed, I need to find out why they're depressed, why they're not happy, what can I do to change their life? Because they're here for a purpose. And I'm here to find out what it is. Now we got people who don't want to stay in their room. Who come out? When we come out, we have a member, we have to put Elvis Presley song. Shh, that's it, that's her husband, and she'll tell you that. So we know what she loves. Now for me to get to do anything, we jamming. The whole building, you can hear Elvis singing. We come out, we cook, we eat, we sit. But before, we didn't know that. We're like, there's no place you can put your music on to get the member out. That's not your job description. You are told you need to do what you need to do. It don't matter if they like it or not. Get him up, get him out, and the day goes on. Now, we don't wear uniforms at all. Sometimes that's how I dress up to work, but with no heels. No, you wear like sneakers. So when they see like flowers, something beautiful, necklaces, they're touching you, that's emotion. They're asking you, where did you get it? That's communication. At the end, you find that 30 minutes are gone by, you guys are talking, you're engaging. They're not in their room, they're outside the room. You are walking around your conversation. So when the family say that, they appreciate more and not like, I can never get my mom do that. What did you do? I cared, I listened, and the sessions we had, the trainings we had as a butterfly, it helped so much. So one, you have to be willing to change. If you don't, then I'm sorry, it's not gonna work.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I wish we had endless amounts of time for more questions, but we are ready at 4 o'clock. Time flies when you're having fun. So please join me in offering a heartfelt thank you to Culix, Garry, Trevon, and Nicola. You have homework. That's right. You have homework. So there are 2 questions left on your worksheets that I want you to think about. 1, what are the questions you are dying to ask people when you get back? And 2, what ways are you engaging staff? What's working? What's not? What do you want to try? Throw the spaghetti at the wall. All right? Thank you so much and have a great day.